from Reuters. This is Reuters.
Beijing is evaluating an offer from Washington to hold talks over US President Donald Trump's 145% tariffs. That was the message from China's Commerce Ministry Friday, although it warned the US not to engage in, quote, extortion and coercion. Washington and Beijing have been locked in a back and forth over tariffs. Both sides are unwilling to be seen to back down in a trade war that has hit global markets and supply chains. The Commerce Ministry said the US has approached China to seek talks over Trump's tariffs. It added Beijing was open to discussions and signaled a potential de-escalation in the trade war. It comes a week after Trump claimed discussions were already underway, which Beijing denied. China said the US should be prepared to take action in what it called correcting erroneous practices and cancel unilateral tariffs. It further said Washington needed to show sincerity in negotiations. US tariffs on many Chinese products saw Beijing respond in April with levies on imports of US goods of 125%. Beijing also called Trump's tariff strategy a joke. Analysts believe the back-and-forth increases could make goods trade between the world's two largest economies impossible. They say import duties beyond about 35% could potentially wipe out Chinese exporters' profit margins and make American products in China similarly expensive.
U.S. job growth slowed marginally in April, but the outlook for the labor market is increasingly darkening as President Donald Trump's aggressive tariff policy heightens economic uncertainty. Non-farm payrolls increased by 177,000 jobs last month, which was better than expected. Though March's number was revised lower, the unemployment rate remained at 4.2%. This helped to assuage fears that the economy was close to recession, after a report from the Commerce Department showed the U.S. economy contracted in the first quarter amid a tariff-induced flood of imports. Nonetheless, it is too early for the labor market to show the impact of Trump's on and off again tariff policy. Friday's solid jobs report gives the Federal Reserve cover to keep interest rates unchanged at its meeting next week. Healthcare continued to dominate job growth, adding 51,000 positions across hospitals and ambulatory services. Transportation and warehousing employment increased by 29,000, but federal government employment declined by 9,000 and is down 26,000 since January, amid the Trump administration's unprecedented and often chaotic campaign, spearheaded by tech billionaire Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, to drastically shrink the government. Manufacturing payrolls also declined, reflecting the strain from the tariffs. Trump's Liberation Day tariff announcement ushered in sweeping duties on most imports from the United States' trade partners, sparking a trade war with China and tightening financial conditions. Trump later delayed higher reciprocal tariffs for 90 days, which economists said was essentially a pause on the whole economy, as it left businesses in a state of paralysis and risked a recession if there was no clarity soon. Meanwhile, business sentiment continues to plummet, which economists expect will at some point give way to layoffs.
U.S. President Donald Trump said in a social media post on Friday that he planned to strip Harvard University of its tax-exempt status. While Trump did not specify when he might take the action, it sets up another potential legal fight with the Ivy League school, amid his wider crackdown on elite universities in the U.S. education system. Harvard responded, saying the move would be unlawful and unprecedented, adding in a statement, quote, "There is no legal basis to rescind Harvard's tax-exempt status. The unlawful use of this instrument more broadly would have grave consequences for the future of higher education in America." Trump's administration has escalated its fight against Harvard in recent weeks, probing its nearly $9 billion in federal funding. Harvard has pushed back, suing the administration and joining more than 200 university and college presidents in protesting Trump's higher education policies.
Tax-exempt status, I mean, it's a privilege. It's really a privilege. And it's been abused by a lot more than Harvard.
Since taking office in January, Trump has targeted major U.S. universities, accusing them of being gripped by anti-Semitic, anti-American, Marxist, and radical left ideologies. Under federal law, the president cannot request that the Internal Revenue Service, which determines whether an organization can have or maintain tax-exempt status, investigate organizations. Representatives for the IRS did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
That's all for now.